Well, it's April now, so it's time for an everyday makeup drawer. So I'm just going to start kind of in order here. Like I have my brow products right here in this little container. The products that I had in my March everyday makeup drawer were this pencil from Kosas and then this laminate brow from Revolution. I was just using the gel side because the pencil was way too warm, so it's time to put these two back. And I'm going to pull these two right here. I have the e.l.f. Instant Lift Waterproof Brow Pencil in deep brown and then the Refi Sculpt Brow Gel. This is just like a clear. They've changed the packaging on this one now. I think it comes with like a little spoolie on the end, but I believe it's the same product as far as I know. I'm not sure about that, but I used these in a recent video together and I just like the combo, so I'm just going to include these two. Next up is primers, and the two that I had in my last one were the Power Grip Primer from e.l.f. and then the Cookies and Dreams Putty Primer, so I'm going to be putting the two of these back and picking out two new ones. Well, this one right here is laying right on top. This one was also one I used in that video. That was the video where I used like my least used products. Well, now give or take, some of these I don't have a lot in certain categories, but I used this one and I want to pull this one back out because it does feel like a really just nice, almost like another moisturizer, so I am going to include this one. And then the other one I'm going to include is this one from Say. I have like this little mini right here. This was actually like a points reward from Sephora, and this one is the Star Glow shade. It's just like this little teeny tube. It's so cute. I just recently got this one with a last Sephora purchase, so I'm just going to include this one. I love this primer though. I've had one before and then used it up completely, so I'm happy to have one back in my collection, even if it is just this teeny little mini. For foundation, these were the last two I had in. I had the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk and the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating CC Cream, so I'm going to be replacing those. The first one I'm going to include is this one from CoverGirl. This is their Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence. It's the one that has like those little beads in it. I have really been loving this one, so I want to definitely include it in this drawer so I can use it even more. It's just so pretty on the skin. And the other one I want to include is this one from Physicians Formula. This is their Diamond Perfector Mineral Wear BB Cream. This is one that you definitely have to apply with your fingers because with a brush or sponge it just does not work really well. I don't like it as much as I do my CoverGirl, but it's not bad. But I do think that it probably would be better almost like a primer and then put like a foundation on top. Like use a small amount of this as like a primer and then put something else over it because it does give you a really nice pretty glow to the skin, but I did want to include it and get a lot more use out of it because I do love skin tints. The two powders I had last time were the loose powder from Rare Beauty and the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Pressed Powder in the shade Porcelain. So, I'm replacing those. The first one I'm going to include is this one from One Size. This is like a little mini of their translucent powder. I feel like if I really use this to like set my eyeshadow primer and just do different things with it like that, I probably could maybe get an empty out of this. I don't think there's that much in there, but I'm not sure. There might be more than I think, but I am going to include this one again. And then the next one I'm going to include is my Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder, which the top part here is completely worn away. This one is in the transparent shade. You can see I have hit major pan. This is one of my most favorite powders. I just think it's a nice lightweight powder, just perfect for just every day. So I will be including this one again. For eyeshadow sticks, I had this one right here from ColourPop. This one was in the shade Give Me a Sign. It's just like this really pretty matte shade. I didn't use it a ton, but I did try to use it some, but kind of at the beginning of March, so I'm going to put this one back and pick out another one. I had recently went through my eyeliners and my eyeshadow sticks and stuff, and I decluttered a ton of eyeliners. I just don't wear eyeliner, especially not colorful ones, so I did get rid of all of those and just kept like the ones that were more on the neutral, like brown, black, peach, that kind of thing. So the eyeshadow stick I want to include is this one from e.l.f. This is their No Budge shadow stick, and this one's in the shade Rose Gold. I thought this would be a really pretty shade. I'm hoping you can see it because I do have my ring light like right here. I just think it's such a pretty shade. It might be really pretty like one and done type of shade too, so we'll see. Last time I didn't include an eyeliner, but this time I'm going to use this one. This is from ColourPop. This is their BFF Crim Gel Liner, and this one's in the shade Peach Fuzz. I used to use this one a ton, kind of like in my waterline, and I want to get some more use out of it. This time I'm really going to try to use it up because there's not really much left because I have had it for a while. As far as mascaras, I just keep these all the time. I don't really, rotate mascaras like in and out of this drawer. I just keep these in my everyday makeup drawer at all times. So I have the Tower 28 mascara in the brown shade, the e.l.f. Lash Extender mascara in the brown shade, Lash and Roll brown, and then this one from Hard Candy, which is also a brown mascara. So I'm just going to be keeping these right in there. For under eye corrector, I was actually using this from Lottie London. This is their Color Cloud Longwear Matte Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Pink Slip. So it is actually an eyeshadow, but it's the perfect tone for an under eye corrector, so that's the way I was using it. But time to put this one back and pick out something else. And the one I'm going to pick is this one from Smashbox and Becca. This one is in the Fair Light. I do have Major Pan in this one. It's one of my absolute favorites, so I would love to see that pan extended even further during this month, so we'll see if I can do so. The last concealers I had were this one from Natasha Denona, her High Glam Concealer, and then I had the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. Those were in my March makeup drawer. And this time I'm going to use these. I have the Essence Keep Me Covered Concealer in the shade Pale, and the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Triple Action Concealer. That one's in the shade Ivory. I thought since I'm going to be using a CoverGirl foundation or skin tint, I'm going to include this one again. So these are my two for this month. The last little face palette I have was this one from Relove by Revolution. This was their Duo Blush and Highlighter. This one was in the shade Sweet, was just this really light highlighter and light pinky peachy blush shade. So it's time to put this one back, and I'll be picking out one face palette from this drawer. And I'm going to include this one. This is a discontinued face palette from Becca. This is the Sunsetter face palette, and it looks like that. Has just these really pretty glowy blushy highlighter shades in here. It's a really pretty, just simple everyday palette, and I think that these tones are really perfect for like the spring because they're real soft, just that really pretty pinky peach. So I'm going to be including this one. And that's everything for this top drawer, so let's move on to the lower drawer. Okay, we have my bottom drawer here, which just has like my lip products, my bronzers, highlighters, that kind of thing. So I'm going to start with my highlighters. These were the two highlighters I had last time. I had the Wet n Wild highlighter in the shade Bloom Time, and then the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light one, the highlighter in the shade Spotlight. So I'll be putting these two back. I'm going to pick out one powder and then one like cream or liquid highlighter. Okay, I mentioned before that I don't get a ton of use out of these. This is from a brand called Metamorphosis, an animal theme indie brand. This is their Briondo Loose highlighter. This one is in the shade Soy Valiente or I'm Brave, and this is more of like a pinky type of highlighter, and it's a loose highlighter, and these are very messy. They're very pretty though, but very glittery, so if you don't like glitter, you definitely will not like these, but they are really stunning. But they're kind of messy in their packaging, so that's one of the reasons why I don't use these a ton. For my liquid, I'm going to be using this one from e.l.f. This is their Halo Glow Beauty Wand. This one is in the shade Champagne. These did come with that sponge tip applicator, but I pulled the little sponge tip off because I just don't like that type of applicator. I much prefer just squeezing it out of the tube like this, and it just works so much better for me. The last bronzers I had in were this one from Milani. This is their Silky Matte Bronzer in the shade 1, which is Sunlight, and then I had the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Bronzer, and this one was in the shade Summer Friday. So I'm going to be picking out another cream bronzer and a powder bronzer. For powder bronzer, I'm going to be picking one of my favorite bronzers of all time. This one is from House Labs. This is their Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer in the shade Light Level 1. I just think this is one of the most prettiest bronzers. It's so soft. I've completely worn the H away. There was like a raised H in the center, but I just think it's perfect. This is one of the most perfect tones if you have really fair skin. I love it so much, so I'm going to be including this one. And then this one is another one of my favorite bronzers. This one is the Merit Bronze Balm in the shade Quince. This is another that's just like the most really pretty natural bronzer. It's so lovely on the skin. It's one of those if you want a natural bronzer, this is definitely the one to go for. It's so pretty. I just love it so much. It just looks like your natural skin, which I really do love that. For lip liners, I had this one from Rare Beauty in the shade Worthy, and then I had the NYX Slim Lip Pencil in the shade Pale Pink. Okay, I picked out the Rare Beauty lip liner in the shade Humble, and then the e.l.f. Cream Glide lip liner in the shade Baddest Beige. And then this one is the Rare Beauty one, and then this one is the e.l.f. one. I just thought those were two really pretty shades together. So I'm going to be including these this time. Okay, I'm back after my poor camera battery died on me, so I had to charge that right quick. So now we're back at it. So last time for lip balm, I was using this one right here from Rare Beauty. I think these are called like their, I'm not sure. Her products usually have these long names, but this one was in the shade Nearly Mauve. It was just kind of like a liquid balm type product. So I'm going to pick a new lip balm out. And I'm going to pick this one from CoverGirl. This is their Clean Fresh Tinted Lip Balm. This one is in the shade Under a Juniper Tree. It's just a clear. It was released for Earth Day, I think like a year or so ago. So these were limited edition, but this was just basically like a clear one. It was just in the color green, but it's clear. For my lipstick last time, I had the Rare Beauty Matte Lipstick in Creative and then the Give Beauty Anaheim Shine Lipstick in the shade Stomp Box. So I want to pick out 2 lipsticks again for this time. So the first one, of course, I want to pick out the Rare Beauty Lipstick in Humble, since I did pick the lip liner in the matching shade. This is such a pretty shade. It's one of my favorites from her lipstick line. And then the other one I'm going to pick is from e.l.f. This is their O Face Satin Lipstick in the shade No Doubt. I thought that this shade would look really pretty with the lip liner I picked out from e.l.f. So I'm going to include that one as well. For lip oil last time, I had the NYX Fat Lip Oil in the shade Follow Back. So this time I'm going to pick this one from e.l.f. This is their Glow Reviver Lip Oil, and this one's in the shade Honey Talks. These are basically like a clear when they go on your lips, but I just really think these are so nice. They're some of my favorite lip oils that I own, so I'm going to be including that one. So for glosses last time, I had this one from Too Faced, their Lip Injection gloss, and then I had this one from Light Slacker in the shade Alyssa. So I'm going to be picking out 2 more of these again. The first one I'm going to pick is this one from Lawless. This is their Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Gloss in the shade Nudie. This is just like a little mini that come in a holiday set, I think last year maybe. Really pretty shade. And then the other lip gloss I'm going to pick is this one from CoverGirl. This is their Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss in the shade Glamingo Pink. These are another one that they kind of go on pretty much clear, but they are really nice lip glosses. Some of the best at the drugstore, I believe. I think this is kind of a good little nude lip lineup. These are shades that I definitely reach for all the time. Okay, so that's all for this drawer. I'm going to move over now to where my blushes are, and we'll pick out some new blushes. Okay, I know this might be a strange angle, but I was trying to show you all of the inside of this drawer that I have right here. So the blushes I had from last time were these 2 right here. I had the Say Dew Blush in the shade Chili, and then the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in Shimmery Rose. So I'm going to be picking out 1 liquid or cream and then 1 powder option. The first one that I want to pick is this one from Patrick Todd. This one is in the shade Just Enough. So we have both the powder and the cream option in this one. It's just this really beautiful, soft, like baby pink. I really love this shade, so I'm going to include this one. No, actually, I really probably should swatch these so you can see the shade. So we just have this pretty cool tone, soft pink shade. And then for powder blush, I'm going to include this one right here from Rimmel. This is their Maxi Blush in the shade Third Base. This one is a very, it's kind of, my lights might be kind of washing it out some, but this shade is the closest I've ever been able to find to my favorite discontinued Becca blush in the shade Flower Child. This one is very close. You do have to build this one up a little bit to make it match that one, but it's the closest I've been able to get to that shade, and I haven't worn it in a while, so I would definitely want to include this one again. But those are the blushes I'm going to pick out from this drawer. So now I'm just going to put this stuff back into my little containers here, and then I'm going to do something a little bit differently this time. I'm going to actually do a get ready with me using these products that I picked out. So let's put these back in the container, and then we'll get started on that get ready with me. I'm really sorry about the glare that's on these. I've been trying to position my ring light so it didn't glare on them so badly, but I will soon be replacing these acrylic drawers. I've had these for a very long time, and I just don't really want the look of acrylic. I found some from Amazon that I plan on ordering soon that are actually made of wood, so there won't be if I can go ahead and get those eventually, then I won't have to worry about a glare. These are just, I don't know, they just show too many scratches and fingerprints, so I will be getting rid of these hopefully soon. It might not be before my next makeup drawer. I'm not sure yet, but I would like to change these up. I just don't really like this look anymore. I want something with wood. But let's go ahead and put the new products that I picked out back in here. there are all the products back into their respective drawers. Now I just wanted to use these products on camera. I never usually do this. I usually just show, this is the first time I've actually included like a get ready with me in this type of video, because usually I just film that and then that's it. But I do see a few of my favorite creators who do this type of video. They'll always include a get ready with me at the end, and I do enjoy watching, see how these products perform all together. So I thought it'd be nice just to add that in. So the only thing I've done is I have put on my eyeshadow primer, which is just the Milani one. So next I'm going to go in with this Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss. This one's in the shade Nudie. I'm just going to put this on to prep my lips. These are really nice, and I remember doing a video last year, I want to say, when these first come out in a little holiday set, and they are really nice glosses. Like, they're amazing. They really are. And even though they say plumping, they're not like a stingy plumping kind of feeling. They're just kind of like maybe like a cooling effect. Okay, I'm going to zoom you in because I'm going to do my brows. And I just have the e.l.f. Instant Lift Waterproof Brow Pencil. This one is in the shade Deep Brown. So I just want to do my brows. I used this brow pencil in my last video. And it is one of those that you definitely... I probably could have used the neutral brown shade because this is a really pigmented brow pencil. And it's pretty affordable too. I do like it, but I think next time I'm going to try the neutral brown shade, because with this pencil I barely have to touch my skin and it just gives instant pigment, and I feel like you can go overboard really quickly with this shade. So I'm just very lightly taking that and filling in my brow. I feel like for me, my missing like the brows like on the top part, like up in here is where my brows get kind of sparse or bald, whatever you want to call it. So that's usually the only place I fill in, is just that top part, and then I usually put just a little bit right in here. That's all I do. This side is a little bit more sparse than the other. It's just the way it grew, I guess, because I don't like over pluck or anything. I guess that's just the way it just decided to be. And then for brow gel, I'm just going to use this from Refi. This is their clear brow sculpt. They've changed the packaging on this. Now it has a spoolie that comes on the end of it. Or I believe it's the same product. It has the same name. So I will link it down below for you, but it does look a little bit differently. But now I've had mine for a while. This is a really good brow gel. It's one of those that it will definitely hold your brows in place. It's like a laminated brow look if you want that, but you do have to be careful with the amount you use of this, because I do find that it can leave like those little white stuff kind of thing in your brows if you're not careful, if you kind of over apply it. So I try to be pretty gentle with this, but I do like it, and I'd like to try the new version. I don't know if the formula is the same or what, but I like the idea that it comes with a little spoolie. One thing I do like about this more so than some of my other brow products or brow gels, see, this brow has these upwards brows right here just naturally, but this side doesn't. This side is more rounded, so I like that I can take this and fluff up the beginning part of my brow and it actually stays up, because most of the time brow gels, when I use them there, they'll eventually fall by the end of the day. This one stays pretty put, because I like having a little bit more fluffiness right there, especially since it's more of a rounded brow look, and I don't really want that if I can prevent it. So for eyeshadow, I'm just going to use this eyeshadow stick. This is from e.l.f. This is their No Budge shadow stick in the shade Rose Gold. I feel like this would be a really pretty, maybe one and done kind of look. I thought that was a really pretty shade. I haven't used this one in a while, so I don't know. It might kind of tug my eyelid a little bit. Like, that's the only thing about cream shadows, is when you let them sit for a while, they do kind of dry out and they can be kind of painful. This one's doing pretty good. It is mildly tugging, but not as bad as the last one I used. Just gonna apply this all over. That is a beautiful one and done kind of shade. I'm just gonna take this brush I have right here from e.l.f. It's like a fluffy or blender brush. This was from their Electric Mood collection, but they do have a brush called the Fluffy Eye Blender brush. It's basically that brush. I'm just gonna go around the edges of that shade. Yeah, that is a perfect one and done shadow. I love that. It's been a while since I've worn one of these on my lid, so I cannot remember if it creases by the end of the day. I will leave a little thing right here in saying that, saying whether or not it does, because I am wearing an eyeshadow primer, but now since I was wearing this, I didn't put any powder over the top, like set my eyeshadow primer like I usually do. But that is a really pretty one and done look. I really like that. So actually this might be one that I need to use more often, because I really have been loving one and done looks lately. Even when I'm using an eyeshadow palette, I still find that I'm taking one shade from the palette and really just going all over the lid with it, and that's what I've been doing. So I really need to get more into eyeshadow sticks, because they really are kind of right up my alley as far as my preferences are concerned right now. You know, before I continue finishing my eyeshadow, I forgot that I really want to go ahead and put my primer on so that can be sinking in while I'm waiting. And I'm just going to use this one from Say. This is their Glowy Super Gel in the shade Star Glow. This was a little points reward thing from Sephora, so it's really little. But I do really love this stuff. I had a mini size before, and I completely used it up because I really did love it, and it's very glowy. So, you know what? It's probably not the best product to apply today, because I'm going in with a skin tint that is just as equally glowy, but it's okay. It is just really rainy and dreary where I'm just looking out at this window. It's so dark. There's no sun, which I'm not a big fan of rain. I know that the earth needs it, but I'm just more of a sunshine person. I love the sun. I do really love that stuff. I think it's so nice, and when I saw that it was a points reward, I definitely quickly picked it up, because I had been without my other one, but I had so many other primers, I was kind of holding off before I repurchased it. But when I saw it as a points reward, I kind of caved, because I said, well, I'm not technically paying for it. I'm using points, so that makes me feel a little bit better, but it's so pretty and glowy. Okay, so I'm going to curl my lashes, and I'm going to use my Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. This one's in the shade Drift, which is their brown. I really love this mascara. I've recently also purchased it again in the black shade as well, but I haven't opened that tube yet. I was wanting to go through a couple of mascaras that I have open right now first, but I think this is a really good mascara. It's weird, because I remember the first time I tried this mascara in the black, it was a mini size, and it was a points reward, and I remember not really liking it that much, but now it's like one of my favorite mascaras. I love these more curved wands like this. I just think that they always pretty much, usually the best mascaras for my lashes usually have a wand like that. Now there are exceptions to that, of course, but usually these that have that curved one do really well for me. And there's just one coat of that mascara. And that's what I like. I just like to do one little coat. You can definitely go back in and build it up more, but for what I've been after lately, I just like one coat and then be done. It's just simple. It's perfect for every day. Okay, so that's just one coat of mascara on both sides, because I'm sure most people have seen this mascara by now. It's been out for a while. Well, I think the brown shade come out last year maybe, but I do really like it. I think it's a perfect everyday natural mascara. Before I go in with foundation or anything, I'm going to first go in with my corrector. This is the Smashbox and Becca Under Eye Corrector. This one is in Fair Light. I have a significant amount of pan in this one, but it is one of my favorites. I know it's kind of pricey, but I have had mine for a while, so I don't really feel like it's, not worth it. But I will say that if you like the idea of this one but just do not want to pay that price, which I totally understand, e.l.f. makes one that's just very similar to this one, and that one is just as good. I have pan in that one as well. I love that one too, so I do want to give that one a shout out as well. I cover that a little bit. I have like this little red blemish. Okay, I'll come back for the concealer. What I'm going to apply now is the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence, and mine is in the shade Fair. I love this product. I just use one pump. You can definitely go in with more than one if you want just a touch more coverage, but I really love one pump. I feel like that's everything I need. And that is a product that I definitely think looks so pretty when you use your hands just to spread the product out. I just think it looks so good. Now it does work well with a sponge or a brush, but I just think that your finger is just perfect, because it goes on almost like a very lightweight skin tint, like a tinted moisturizer. So I don't know if I actually want to do concealer since I feel like that corrector helped a lot, and then I did place some of that over the top, so I might just skip concealer today. I will say that between that one and the Physicians Formula one that come out that's like a skin tint, I like the CoverGirl one way better. The Physicians Formula one is okay, and it's definitely one you need to use your fingers to rub that one in, because I tried it with a brush and a sponge and it didn't work, but this one is way better. I feel like this one, if you were looking between the two of them, I know the CoverGirl one might be, no, actually no, I take that back. Physicians Formula is kind of a little bit more pricey for a drugstore brand, so it might actually be close in price to that one. I don't remember what I paid for that one, but I think the CoverGirl one is worth it more. The other one is fine, but this one is way better in my opinion. But now if you have really oily skin, it might not be one you would like because it is very glowy. I know I was wearing a glowy base underneath it, but it's pretty glowy on its own too, so just be mindful of that if you have really oily skin. I'm going to use my one size translucent powder, and I'm just going to take some of that, tap off some of the excess here, and then I'm going to just stamp that in here. I just want to set like my T-zone a little bit because I am wearing some powder products today. I'm not going to wear any creams. I have that face palette that I picked out from Becca. I have not worn that in a long time, so I really want to get some use out of that one. This is a really nice loose powder. I have a little mini here, and I really, when I run out of it, I would definitely repurchase it. I probably would actually repurchase it in the larger size because I do really like this powder. I think it does a really good job. I might tap over a little bit of powder right in here where I'm gonna apply my blush and stuff, but not too much. Just kind of like what was left on the brush. This is a Betsy Johnson brush. I know that they don't make these now, and I know I probably shouldn't be using them but on camera like this, but they're my favorite brushes, and I wish that you could still get them. You probably can find them like maybe somewhere like Mercari or something, but you don't have to use the brushes I'm using at all. Just any fluffy brush, your favorite powder brush is fine. Okay, here is that Becca face palette. This is the Sunsetter face palette, and it just has like a bronzer, two blushes, and then this is more like, I guess, like a highlight. Yeah, it looks more like a highlighter shade. I have not used this in a long time, so I'm just going to take the bronzer shade. I don't remember how pigmented this is, so I'm just going to go in with a small amount. All of these products are like really glowy. It's been so long since I've used this face palette. I remember really liking it though, because it was kind of, I remember it being really soft and just easy to work with for my skin tone. I don't know if when this palette existed, when they sold this, I don't know if there was multiple versions of it. This is the only one I have, and I had found mine at TJ Maxx like years ago. I did declutter quite a few of my face palettes, but this one was just one that I held on to because I just thought it was so pretty. And that's like a really pretty shade of bronzer. I don't know if it has a name. Gold Trotter. I don't know if that was a bronzer they had like in singles or nothing when that brand existed. I'm not sure. I'm gonna take this shade right here, which is Calypso Coral, and I'm just gonna take that on that same Betsy Johnson. This might be a little warm. I know the eyeshadow look is kind of like a rose gold, but you know, it's okay. Sweep that around because it definitely has like that highlighter effect in it. You can kind of see it. You know, I'd completely forgot about this palette. I could have used that in my last video where I used like my least used products. This would have been a good one, but I was going more for individual products, but this one would have been perfect for that. But it's pretty. It's sad this brand doesn't exist anymore. Because I know some of their products live on through Smashbox, like that under eye corrector and all that. And I definitely don't need a highlighter because that one is built in. Of course, I didn't need one anyway with all the glow on my face, but that's really stunning. Before I forget here, I need to go back in and put some of this eyeshadow stick on my lower lash line. Sometimes I say I'm going to go back and do my lower lash line after I finish like my concealer and stuff, and then I'll be doing my bronzer and blush and still haven't gone back to finish it. Oh, I really love that shade of eyeshadow stick. I need to get more into eyeshadow sticks. I'm just going to do some lower lash line mascara, and then we'll move on to the lips, and that will be this whole full face. And one more thing, I don't know if this will really go, but I haven't used this in a long time. This is the ColourPop BFF Creme Gel Liner. This one's in the shade Peach Fuzz. This is basically like a brightening shade for your waterline for me anyway, so I'm just going to apply that. I never wear eyeliner. Yeah, that's pretty. It just adds like a little bit of brightness. Nothing too intense. I used to wear this almost on an everyday basis, and then I don't know. I just got to where I stopped wearing eyeliner. But that's pretty. It just adds just a little subtle bit of brightness. It's not like really brightening like a white would be, but for me, I don't think I'd want a white on my waterline. I just don't think it would look really that great on me, but so I like a shade like this, which is, it does have a little bit of brightness, but it's not too stark. For my lips, I'm gonna wear, I don't know, maybe I picked out the combo from Rare Beauty, but actually I think the other combo with e.l.f. would look better, because this is kind of warm. Well, you know what, now let's just try this one out. I haven't used this one in a while. This is the Rare Beauty Kind Words Matte Lip Liner in the shade Humble, and then I have the matching lipstick as well. If it doesn't work out, it's totally okay. I can always just wipe this off and put the other one on later. Kind of wipe off any of that excess I might have of that Lawless lip gloss. Besides, I think this is the shade I always kind of remember being like a My Lips But Better type of shade, but I might be wrong. Then I have the matching lipstick. Okay, but there we have this finished look with using these products. This is just such a pretty simple look. These products were all pretty. They work really well together. And I am really loving that eyeshadow stick. Maybe I should look into wearing eyeshadow sticks more than I do, because that's really pretty. I love that one and done type of look. I've just been really into those types of looks lately. I just want something simple, pretty, easy, effortless, and I really love that. So I'm so glad that I pulled these products for this month's drawer, because they're so pretty. They work really well together. Look at all that glow. If you are into glowy skin, you would really love these products. But I do hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the bell notification so you're alerted to all my future posts, and please make sure to follow me over on Instagram at Jessica Dearly, and I hope to see you in my next video.